Good morning, friends. This morning session is dedicated to all language lovers, and this morning elaboration is for everybody. Well, the topic is habit is a good servant but a bad master. Yes, there is no denying the fact that habits are, good servant but bad master. We should never allow any habit to overpower our personality because it eventually harms us in our life. Habit is a regularly repeated behavior that is acquired during our early childhood. It is, habit is a regularly repeated behavior that requires a little thought or sometimes no thought. But once an activity or an action becomes regular, it becomes a habit. Habit is a good servant but bad master. We should never allow habits to overpower our personality. A person who becomes habituated of undesired practices, gets into trouble or sometimes faces embarrassment many a time. He has to face a lot of difficulties because of his habits. Yes, late rising, smoking, drinking, and unpunctualities are some of bad habits. Children from very early childhood are taught by the parents to get up early because there is a proverb, early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. But children also imitate good habits from their parents and teachers. That is the reason why parents should also, exhibit good habits, particularly getting up, early in the morning, or keeping their nails clean, keeping their body clean, taking bath regularly, so that the children should imitate their parents. So if you, as a parent, if you are not having good habits, definitely the children will also follow you. That is the reason why the parents should teach the children to inculcate good habits from their early childhood and ask them to be flexible in life, not to be under the control of any habit, because when you are under the control of any habit, then these habits overpower your personality, and many a time they harm your, progress in life. That is the reason why we should never allow habits to overpower our personality. Habits are acquired from early childhood. That is the reason why we are always asking the parents to keep a watch on the reading habits of the children. Particularly, they should always ask the children to read good books and not to, spend more time on gadgets. Observations have been found that the children who have been spending more time, attending online classes on the screen, they have got eyes problem. They are there, they have sore eyes, and they get constant headache and all that. So sometimes the parents should always ask the children to inculcate the habits of reading good books, novels, stories. There are a number of reading materials. Sometimes they should be asked to read scriptures because they also inspire them in life. Reading religious books and scriptures also can be a very good idea for the children. Initially, people indulge into an activity or any action which give them pleasure and which they enjoy, but gradually it becomes a habit, and then it is difficult to give up them. The pleasure that they derive from any activity, gradually they get accustomed to that, and once they get accustomed to that habit or actions, it forms an indispensable component of their personality, and it is very difficult to give up that. For example, those who are indulged in smoking or drinking, or even in the activities such as chatting all the time, it is very difficult for them to give up these habits, and that also affect their social and economic life. Because if you really want to see the consequences of bad habits, you can understand that bad habits not only affect a person's personality, but it also affects his social life, his family life. Sometimes alcoholism spoils the whole family. So that is the reason why we always ask the youngsters to inculcate good habits follow good routine, and be in under the self control, not be under the control of any habit. Let the habits be the part of life, but it should not dictate us or govern us. We should not allow habits to govern our personality. Upbringing, environment, and education have a greater role in the formation of habits. We have seen that those children belonging to an educated family, particularly, they have a good upbringing. They are always having good habits. They never tell lies. They have values such as truth, honesty, and dedication to their work. They never fall into bad company. They either live in a good company or they are alone. But those having a poor upbringing, and they live in the dirty surroundings like slums and other, they pick up the habits of stealing, telling lies, and that continues perpetually for the whole life, and then later on they turn into criminals and all. That is the reason why it is very important that parents should always keep the children in a good environment, particularly home environment, and social interaction must be of a healthy nature. And education is the most important pillar of inculcating good habits. If the children are under the educated umbrella, they will never fall into bad habits. So education plays an important role in the formation of good habits. Once a habit is transformed, and once an activity is transformed into a habit, a person tends to lose control over it. Good habits such as punctuality, cleanliness, and responsibility add value to our personality. But bad habits, take a toll over our personality. Bad habits are always the, roadblocks of our life. Good habits are the pillars of success, whereas bad habits are the causes of failures in life. Irrespective of the nature of habits, they must be deemed as the servant, not as the master of our life. We should never allow any habit to control us. Rather, we should control the habits as per our requirement. And that is what I wanted to emphasize upon. Good habits are the pillars of success in life. If you have a good habits, you can always be successful. But bad habits are always, going to be the failures of life, irrespective of the nature of thing that you acquire. So my sincere advice is that parents should always inculcate good habits among the children, and take observation and watch on what the children are doing. Particularly the children at the very early stage, from class 5 to 10, should be made to read good books, scriptures, religious books, epics, and other things, so that they should always be inspired with good values like honesty, truth, and they should always work hard in their life. Punctuality, getting up early, rising early, and punctuality and cleanliness are some of the good habits that should be inculcated from the very early childhood. And the children should always try to control their habit, not be under the control of the habits. They should rather control the habits and be flexible. If some habits become cause of your failure, give up them. If some habits are good in the growth and development of your personality, try to pick up them and try to continue. That is what I wanted to say. Thanks a lot. This is Mr. Eddie Singh on the channel Easy English by Eddie Singh.